Okay, so today we have Taxi by Harry Chapin. So I think everybody on Earth has heard Cats in the Cradle, which is probably Harry's best known track. And that's the only song I've ever heard by him. And Taxi was requested once, and I've been just thinking about it. And it's a 6.5 minute song. And I said, well, why not finally come to it today? Why not? So here we go. Let's get into it, talk about it after. It's just the song. There's no video. So you got to look at my head, I guess. But yeah, let's just get going. 6.5 minutes. Harry Chapin. Soft introduction.
It was raining hard in Frisco. I needed one more fare to make my night. A lady up ahead waved to flag me down. She got in at the light.
Yeah.
Oh, where you going to, my lady blue? It's a shame you ruined your gown in the rain. She just looked out the window. She said 16 Parkside Lane. Something about her was familiar. I could swear I've seen her face before. But she said, I'm sure you're mistaken. And she didn't say anything more.
That bass is hard.
It took a while, but she looked in the mirror. Then she glanced at the license for my name. A smile seemed to come to her slowly. It was a sad smile just the same. And she said, how are you, Harry? I said, how are you, Sue? Through the too many miles and the too little smiles, I still remember you.
Yeah, cello.
It was somewhere in a fairy tale. I used to take her home in my car. We learned about love in the back of a Dodge. The lesson hadn't gone too far. You see, she was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find the footlights. I took off to find the sky. Whoa, I've got something inside me to drive the princess blind. There's a wild man wizard, he's hiding in me, illuminating my mind. Oh, I've got something inside me, not what my life's about. 'Cause I've been letting my outside tide me over till my time runs out.
Who is this? This is beautiful.
There was not much more for us to talk about. Whatever we had once was gone. So I turned my cab into the driveway, past the gate and the fine trim lawns. And she said, we must get together, but I knew it'd never be arranged. Then she handed me $20 for a $2.50 fare. She said, Harry, keep the change. Well, another man might have been angry, and another man might have been hurt, but another man never would let her go. I stashed the bill in my shirt, and she walked away in silence. It's strange how you never know, but we'd both gotten what we'd asked for such a long, long time ago. You see, she was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find the footlights, I took off for the sky. And here she's acting happy inside her handsome home, and me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned. I go flying so high when I'm stoned.
So there it is, Harry Chapin and Taxi. All right, had a visitor come in, so I had to take a pause. Anyway, so I'm all messed up now. But with Taxi here, with Harry Chapin, you know, like I said off the top, my first listen to the song, my first listen to anything that is not Cats in the Cradle, and I guess even with Cats in the Cradle, because I do believe he was inspired by his son's birth to cover that song. I don't believe he wrote that one, but either way, with this one here, it also is kind of talks about something that was kind of real. It does talk about a previous relationship. Of course, he changed the girl's name. He didn't change his own name, of course, but I guess as I was reading up, he was in a relationship with a girl for about over a year or something like that, and this kind of happened or whatever. I don't know if the story actually happened, if he was a taxi driver. I do believe actually I saw somewhere that did have his taxi license, but either way, just to say this, I mean, he paints a picture that you can easily visualize. He's a great storyteller. He has such a friendly voice. He has such a growly voice too at times. I mean, I was going to say that during the song, but I figured why not just wait until it's over. But yeah, he has a growl to him at some points as well, which I really dig. I really enjoy. Which I don't know, I don't really expect. But yeah, he has that growly kind of friendly still voice, and as well, it's soft. I mean, and to talk about soft, I got to also mention Big John Wallace, as he's known, who was on the bass guitar here. And I did say at one point that bass is hard. You know, you couldn't miss the bass guitar on this track. And as well, there was a cello in there. I mean, I love the strings. Good Lord. Anyway, just made the music even more moving and made the voices even more moving. But to get to my point, John Wallace has one of the most beautiful voices and one of the most unexpected, voices I've ever heard, because I wasn't expecting anyone else to be on the track, and to have a guy like that, and I guess he went by Big John Wallace, so I guess he must have been a big man, but holy moly, he could go to a high tenor, and again, it was almost like an opera singer in a way. He had such a high, just a high voice, high vocals. He could just go up there, and I do believe I was also reading just on Genius.com here, because it talks about John, and I guess he could also be a baritone as well, so I guess he just had such a great range, and I'm glad he came in around like the 3.5 minute time, and he went out around the 4.5 minutes, so that minute of him singing was a pleasant surprise. Holy moly. Anyway, and again, just I wasn't expecting it, and to have him on the track, and then Harry comes back in, it's beautiful. And anyway, so yeah, it was just beautiful. I mean, I can't get over his voice, but anyway, but Harry, like I said, has such a softness to him too, and again, you can kind of feel for him in this way. I mean, you talk about a song here that again, it's an easy story to get into. It's an easy story to understand. As well, I think I think of someone like Jim Croce, who's a great storyteller. Willie Nelson honestly came to mind. Just maybe with Harry, even Harry's voice in a way. I don't know. He had the same kind of drawl or something. I don't know. Hey, Willie Nelson did come to mind for me. But again, even like another storyteller like freaking what's his name? Gordon Lightfoot. I was going to pause, but Gordon Lightfoot comes to mind too. Just these guys that can tell stories and make beautiful songs too, and not, I don't know, bore you with a story or something. But yeah, Harry here was great, and again, the story. I'm talking about a woman here. He picks her up, and I'm sure this has probably happened in real life too. For other people, you pick up somebody you might have once dated, whatever. You thought you were going to have a great life together, and it ended off, and then you pick them up, and you realize that what you had is definitely gone. And I guess Harry and Sue, I guess in the song, they realize that they neither of them achieved their dreams, which is just so sad. I mean, it's just tragic. Again, Harry's I guess turned into a taxi driver, and he also gets stoned, and I guess she never became an actress, and she must have married somebody else, and I guess that's what her life is about. But we'll get into lyrics, I guess, now. But I do actually want to talk about the personnel here that I do see. I talked about John so much, obviously, and I talked about Harry, but also so Harry was on acoustic guitar and vocals, would you believe it? Ron Palmer was on electric guitar. John Wallace was on bass and vocals, of course. Good Lord. Tim Scott was on cello, and Steve Chapin, I'm guessing he's related to Harry, is on keyboards, and Russ Kunkel, love that last name, is on drums here. And I mean, I gotta mention too, I love the pitter patter of the drums. I mean, again, the drums were kind of soft, and nothing here was like, it was dramatic at points, but at the same time, the song was kind of heavy too. So I was gonna say it wasn't really heavy, but it was kind of heavy. I mean, my goodness, but not in a heavy way of like, a smashing sound, but in a heavy way of like, it's so moving, and it's so beautiful, and it's so whimsical as well, and so I just loved it a lot. But anyway, there's the personnel, I guess. So getting to these lyrics now with the first verse, it was raining hard in Frisco. So he's in San Francisco. I mean, again, it's so easy to get into this and understand. I needed one more fare to make my night. A lady up ahead waved to flag me down. She got in at the light, and then we go on again. Just an easygoing story here. Oh, where are you going? To my lady blue. It's a shame you ruined your gown in the rain. Again, he's making observations here. Saying your dress is getting ruined in the rain. Good Lord. She just looked out the window. She said 16 Parkside Lane. So he seems, and again, he's a taxi driver. He probably talks to people all the time, obviously, and he's trying to make conversation. Perhaps she doesn't seem too interested at the start. Anyway, and maybe she does recognize him right off the bat, but we'll get into that. And maybe she doesn't want to believe it, or just, maybe she doesn't want to talk about it, but she does. Something about her was familiar. I could swear I've seen her face before, but she said, I'm sure you're mistaken, and she didn't say anything more. So again, that leads me to believe that maybe, she did know that's Harry, and she just didn't want to say anything, but now she finally does. It took a while, but she looked in the mirror, then she glanced at the license for my name, so now she's saying, okay, it is him. A smile seemed to come to her slowly. It was a sad smile just the same. Again, they don't seem happy, I would say, to see each other, which is, again, kind of tragic. But again, I guess, who's really happy to see the Rex? I mean, I don't know. Especially if it didn't work out. And again, if it's somebody you just don't really want to think about again. Anyway, but a smile kind of came to her face, and she, kind of remembers him. And she said, how are you, Harry? I said, how are you, Sue? So now they're both like, okay, we're in this now. Through the too many miles and the too little smiles, I still remember you. And again, it seems like Harry, he hasn't smiled much, whatever, but he's driven a lot of miles, and he's just been working. He's just been doing life. It seems like, again, he never achieved his dreams. He's never been a pilot, as he goes on to say, basically. And it's just, I still remember you through all the all the stuff I've been through in my life, which has been kind of a depressing, perhaps. Anyway, it was somewhere in a fairy tale. I used to take her home in my car. We learned about love in the back of a Dodge. Hello. The lesson hadn't gone too far. So it seems like even maybe he's calling himself out there, and I think about, learning about love in the backseat of a Dodge, make it out. Maybe it didn't go too far, it just wasn't working out there anyway in the band. You see, she was going to be an actress, and I was going to learn to fly. And again, I love the conviction. I love the, I don't know, you could see, you could hear, like, I don't know, you could hear the dream in his voice, his dreamy voice here, and how he was just talking about this was going to happen, but it didn't. And, you just feel sad. I don't know. His vocals are very emotive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. She took off to find the footlights. I took off to find the sky. So again, just talking about how they went on to pursue what they wanted to do. They're acting, and I guess him being a pilot. Oh, I've got something inside me to drive a princess blind. So then again, he becomes very introspective here, I would say, where he just talks about regret, I would think, here with the whole post-chorus. There's a wild man wizard, my goodness, he's hiding in me, I can't talk, illuminating my mind. Oh, I've got something inside me, not what my life's about, because I've been letting my outside tide me over till my time runs out. And again, it seems like he regrets this. He talked about earlier how his life hasn't really gone the way he wanted, obviously, and he's just been doing his own thing, whatever, for all these years, all these little smiles, and he kind of regrets that. And then we go onto the bridge, and I love this line here. Baby so high that she's skying. Beautiful. She's flying, afraid to fall. I'll tell you why baby's crying, because she's dying, aren't we all? Again, it seems like, yeah, they're unfulfilled lives here, talking about death, because again, it seems like we're just circling the drain at this point. We never achieved our dreams, and what is the point of living at this point? I don't know, maybe that's very deeper than it should be, but there you go. Then we go into the 6th verse. Again, there's so many verses here, my goodness, but it was a 6.5 minute song. There was not much for us to talk about. Whatever we had once was gone. Ooh, tragic again. So I turned my cab into the driveway, past the gate and the fine trimmed lawns. Again, it seems like maybe, again, she's married now. She's living in a white picket fence, all that stuff, with a dog and a kid. Anyway, and she said, we must get together, but I knew it would never be arranged. Again, very truthful, and it hits hard because, yeah, again, it's real, it's honest. You have it all the time, even with your friends. We should hang out sometime, and it probably never really happens, especially when you become an adult or whatever, and you have other things going on. It's just like, I don't want to go out tonight, good Lord. Anyway, then she handed me $20 for a $2.50 fare. She said, Harry, keep the change. And again, he got quite the tip there, and I don't know if that's her feeling bad for him, and whatever, I don't, in a way for that, just saying, keep the change, Harry, or maybe just because, it's an old friend, but he seems to take it nicely anyway. Well, another man might have been angry, and another man might have been hurt, but another man never would have let her go. I stashed the bill on my shirt. And again, I just love that. He's grown up. He's got, he's mature. My goodness gracious. And again, he just put the money in his shirt. I mean, good Lord, that's a good final fare for the night. And here we go. Then we have the chorus once again, and she walked away in silence. It's strange how you never know, but we'd both gotten what we asked for such a long, long time ago. I guess we talk about that, with what they used to have, I guess, and how it ended. And then just know that that's, that was the end of it, whatever. That's what we wanted at the time. You see, she was going to be an actress, and I was going to learn to fly. She took off to find the footlights. I took off for the sky. And then we have the chorus at the end again. And here she's acting happy. I love that so much. Again, there's a couple of parts in here where it's almost like a couple digs. He's jabbing her a bit. She's acting happy. She did become an actress. She's acting happy. Oh, I love it so much. Anyway, inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned. And he just took a big tip. I go flying so high when I'm stoned. Again, he's kind of giving her jabs, but he's jabbing himself as well. I mean, he's talking about, that self-deprecation in a way too. But yeah, I just love how honest, how real, how... I mean, I don't know. I guess that really says it. How raw this is, how emotional this is, how moving it is, how beautiful it is, especially with John's voice too. I love the cello. I love the strings on this track. It really makes you move. It really makes you, sway back and forth. It really gets you into the song. You think about these lyrics. You think about the delivery that Harry's given them. I just love it. I can't say it enough. This is a great 6.5 minutes, and I'm glad I finally came to it. And so I guess that's all I'm gonna say. So. Oh, my goodness. Sorry for a couple pauses in there, but the cat started attacking the dog, so I had to pause for that. And, I guess that's all I got to say. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the request for this man as well. And, thanks for subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all the support. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.